Good evening and thank you for joining us. Moses, great news for Canadian sports fans and for Penguins fans.
Oh, and this is huge. Like you say, any hockey fan that really wants to see a great show, Sidney Crosby definitely brings it. No, not so much a kid anymore, but we'll definitely have that, and we got tons of stuff coming up for you in sports.
Maybe hard to get rid of that nickname after it's been around for so long, though.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Peter, a fantastic day. You were saying how many records were broken?
27 records were broken across Alberta and Saskatchewan, including 4 in our region, which we will outline in just a few minutes. But right now we are actually sitting at 13 degrees in the border city. You can see those winds are coming from the south-southwest, which is why our conditions have been so warm, pumping up warm air from the south. As we head across the region, a great day across all areas. The Lakeland region is sitting at 12 degrees as well as in the Battlefords. We will have all your weather details in just a few minutes.
Tragedy on Highway 16 today as an early morning crash claimed the life of one woman. Few details are known at this time, but the collision involved a Mazda and a transport truck.
Just shortly after 7 o'clock this morning, emergency call was received by the Kitscoty RCMP. Lloydminster City Detachment also responded due to the close vicinity. At this moment right now, we're still trying to determine who the actual driver is, and next of kin will be notified.
The car remained trapped under the semi well into the afternoon until a crane could be brought in to free the vehicle. Traffic delays lasted all day, but Corporal Cadoon says it could have been worse.
Traffic's actually been very good today with the traffic control through the Blackfoot Fire Department as well as the rescue squad. It's been very nice to have the slow traffic and not have to worry about the safety of ourselves out here.
The driver of the semi wasn't injured, though he was shaken up by the tragedy. We'll bring you more details as they become available. Meantime, Maidstone RCMP are looking into a 2-vehicle collision on Highway 17. It happened just after 6 p.m. last night, about 2 kilometers north of Sandy Beach. Few details are known at this time, but initial reports say the cars were driving erratically and collided on the highway with one another, ending up in the ditch. Both drivers have been taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Well, homeschoolers in Alberta are up in arms over the province's new Education Act. Upwards of 500 families in the Vermilion-Lloydminster area are stepping up to voice their concern, some even making the trip to Edmonton to take on the Alberta legislature firsthand. They say if legislation is passed as is, it will limit religious freedom in teaching, one of the primary reasons parents choose to homeschool to begin with.
It's a 185-page commitment, drafted from months of province-wide consultation. But one specific section is causing quite the controversy, and homeschool educators call it a game changer.
Anybody who would teach on a religious basis and maybe use their religious books as part of their curriculum should be concerned.
The concern is over the bill including the Alberta Human Rights Act and the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Homeschool teachers say it rips their rights as educators, forcing them to teach topics such as homosexuality, which doesn't align with their religious beliefs.
Our concern is by changing the way the Education Act is written, it will take away some of the freedoms that we have.
But the province says it has no intention of taking away educational freedom.
And no parent should be worried that somehow Alberta Education or government of Alberta will march into their house and start dictating what they can or cannot teach their kids.
Minister Luke Hasek says it's all about interpretation and what people read into the wording of the act. In response to the backlash and to clear up any confusion, the minister is tabling an amendment stating no part of the Education Act will undermine parents' ability to pass along religious or cultural values. But he says he has no plans on excluding the Alberta Human Rights Act.
As a homeschool parent himself, PC candidate Richard Starkey understands where the concern is coming from. But he says the matter is still up for debate.
Well, I think it's about clarity. It's about making sure that the act is clear so that everybody knows, what is and what isn't okay.
But homeschool educators say they will continue to rally until they know for sure their rights aren't under fire.
We believe that parents' rights are paramount rights. We as parents feel that our responsibility is our children's education.
An economic treaty has been established between 3 Alberta First Nations to build capacity in the oil and gas sector. William Robertson explains.
Onion Lake Energy signed a treaty to collectively explore development opportunities and wealth creation within the First Nation partners.
We are going to be signing an MOU with 3 other First Nations, Sucker Creek, Drift Pile from Treaty 8 in the Slave Lake area, and Ermineskin from the Hobima area by Wetaskiwin. And it's a joint venture, an alliance to work together and in the oil and gas industry.
The treaty will allow the First Nation partners to be more independent.
Working with industry, it's kind of hard for us to make industry understand how important oil and gas is for us for development, culturally, environmental, all those issues that come into play with having that partnership without industry knowing how we work together.
The treaty took a long time to come to fruition, but has now been finalized.
We invited our staff, our technical staff. Lisa Whitford have met with their people, and we invited them about a year ago, a little better than a year ago. They came here, they were impressed in what we had, and we started talking about forming an alliance with them and perhaps assisting them in developing capacity and in their territory with our energy company.
Onion Lake is the largest oil-producing First Nation within Canada, and the treaty ensures their growth for the future. William Robertson, Newcap News.
Coming up, celebrations over hitting the brakes on demolishing part of the Dr. Cook Extended Care Home. We'll tell you about the group who made it happen. That story after the break.